Hello everyone and welcome to reading day 2. So I am just in Brandon in between clients, so I thought I'd hop on and get our reading in, and so welcome to today's reading. So do you worry about money? Do you ever worry about not having enough money? When was the last time you worried about it? Get that feeling. So just tune in. What does the worry with money look like and feel like for you? Breathe into that worry. Maybe it's past expenditures. Is it the future? Is it income tax time? What are your triggers? What worries you with money? So allow yourself to feel that. Get into it. All right, now make that feeling infinite. Make it as big as the universe. Make the feeling bigger than the universe. Not eternal, but infinite. You can imagine sticking a needle or a giant air pump into the middle of your worry and then blowing it up so it gets bigger than the universe. Making it something bigger than the universe is not really something you have to think about or do. It's just an awareness. It usually happens as soon as you ask it to do it. So what happens to your worry, your money worry, when you make it infinite? Does it get fuller and more substantial? Does it have a greater sense of reality? Or does it fade away and disappear? If it goes away, as is what we suspect it will do, then it is a lie. The worry might be something you think is true, but really isn't. You've bought something that's not true. Now think about somebody you care about. Make that feeling infinite, bigger than the universe. Does it become more substantial or less substantial? Now just take a moment and do that. Think about someone you care about. Make it bigger than the universe. Now when you think about how much you care for someone and you make it infinitely bigger than the universe, you see it's even bigger than you're willing to admit it yourself. If you're willing to admit how much you care about someone else and you're truly willing to care that much about yourself, how much do you think you'd be willing to receive? When you take the caring that you have and you make it infinite, it becomes fuller and more present. It occupies more space than the upset did. You realize that you care more than you acknowledged. You may say, yeah, I care. But when you fill it out and make it substantial, you can see how very much you do care. It's almost as if you're afraid to care that much. Think about having plenty of money. Now think about having plenty of money. Get that feeling. And now make it infinite, bigger than the universe. Does it get more substantial or less? More substantial. And when you think about not having money, when you say, oh, I'm broke, I can't do this, if you make those feelings and worries infinite, bigger than the universe, what happens to them? They go away. If you create based on a lie, can you create a truth of it? Isn't this interesting? When we tend to buy into lies, like I don't have any money, then we try to create our lives based on those lies. If you attempt to create based on a lie, can you create a truth of it? No way. If you lie to yourself or you buy into a false points of view, you create limitations and you do not allow you to expand into what is possible with money. Sometimes Danes tells the story about one side of the family that thought they were lucky if they had enough money to put food on the table. His grandparents had grown up during the Depression, and there were times when they didn't have food. Their point of view was they were successful if they had enough money to buy food. Dane bought this point of view as a truth. He held on to it until he started Access. He bought the idea that having enough money to have food on the table was a measure of success. Once he started Access, he realized, wait a minute, that's not true. Shortly after he got started in Access, he was seeing some different possibilities in life. We drove up to San Francisco together to do an Access course. We were going to be there for 3 days. Dane brought 10 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, 3 pounds of trail mix, and 3 boxes of granola bars. Since he didn't have any money, he thought that would be the food he'd eat while he was there. At one point during the drive, I put a piece of big red gum in my mouth, chewed it for about 10 minutes, spat it out, put another piece in. I chewed that one for 10 minutes, spat it out, and put another one in. I chewed that one for 20 minutes and put a new piece in. Dane wasn't saying anything, but he was freaking out every time I put a new piece of gum in my mouth. Finally, he asked, "Why do you do that?" I said, "Do what?" He said, "Chew one piece of gum after the other like that." I said, "Because I only like the taste at the beginning. After that, it's boring." Dane came from a family where you chewed your gum for a day and a half. He never considered the possibility you could do anything so extravagant with a $1 pack of gum. He'd never considered a different standard of affluence for himself. It busted a whole new paradigm of not having enough. His reaction was, "Wait a minute, I can do that?" Most of us buy into lies and limitations like this as we were growing up. This is what success is, or this is what I can or can't have. In Dane's case, the lie was abundance is being able to feed yourself. That was his family's point of view, and that's the point of view he bought, is that abundance is. That he bought. Is that what abundance is? No, of course not. When he saw that he'd been trying to create his financial life around a lie, new possibilities started to appear. Instead of making yourself nuts about money, which is something we're very good at, by the way, instead of worrying about money or living in a state of near poverty, start to realize that your worries, concerns, and beliefs about money are not real. And when you realize that they're not real, you won't buy into them, and you won't create your life based on what is not real or true. So make it bigger than the universe. Use this exercise to get the truth of the issue. When you make things bigger than the universe, what is true becomes more full and substantial. It feels more real. It takes up more space, and what's a lie dissipates. It goes away. Change what happens with money in your life by using the simple tool and create from what's true for you. Have you ever told yourself you can't afford this? Years ago, I was working in an antique shop rearranging furniture for them. They hired me because every time I rearranged things, something they had in stock for 2 years would sell. They'd have me come in and do a rearrangement about every 2 weeks. I was making $37.50 an hour, which was pretty good money at the time. I was doing that along with everything else I could do to support my kids and wife. The shop owners were so happy with what I was doing. They said, "You know what? Anything you want to buy at the store we'll give you at our cost, and you can put it on terminal layaway. You can have it whenever you get it paid off. Just keep working for us." This was not a low-end antique shop. It was a place that had $20,000 bedroom sets. They had diamond rings that were $35,000. I looked at them and said, "Who can afford this stuff?" But after they said that to me, I looked around the shop and I suddenly realized that I could have anything in it. But once I realized I could afford anything I wanted, it might take me a while to take it home, but I could afford to have anything in there. I realized none of it mattered to me. I didn't care anymore. It's what we think we can't afford or what we think we can't have becomes valuable. It becomes valuable not because it's true, but because we can't have it. We make the scarcity the significance. So every time you say, "I can't afford it," you're saying you're not worth it. I can't afford it means I can't have it. How many times have you decided you can't afford an item and settled for something that was less than what you wish to have? You can't afford anything almost at any shop. You can afford anything. Almost any shop in the world will give you layaway for you. Dan and I recently went to a pawn shop. They had a sign, "Layaway now." The whole idea was you could go into the shop. They had stuff up there for $20,000, and they would let you put anything on layaway. If you put it on a time payments, you could have anything in there. But the question is, do you really want it? What would I really like to have? Practice this on your own. Go into a store, walk around, saying, "Okay, I can have anything here I truly desire." what would I really like to have? You'll look at things and say, no, no, that's nice, that's nice, that's nice. And you'll walk out saying, you know what? There's nothing in there that I'd like to have. If I'm going to have this in my life. If you do find something you like to have, say, I'm going to have this in my life, and walk out without looking at the price tag. Why you don't look at the price tag? Because if you do, you're creating a limitation about what it's going to cost and how you can't afford it. If you don't look at the price tag and you can just say, I'm going to have this in my life, then you can create an opportunity for the universe to drop it into your lap in some way you never imagined possible at a price you're willing to pay. Recently, my daughter said, I'd like to have a Gucci wallet. They are $250. I said, okay, that's good. We'll see what can happen. 3 weeks later, I stopped at a garage sale for no apparent reason, and there was a Gucci wallet for sale. It was $3. I assumed it had been a knockoff and took it home. Turns out, it was the real thing. So, that's today's reading. May you expand your worry of money beyond the universe. Question your thoughts and see and discover the lies that you're choosing to believe so you can create a future versus repeating the current state based from a lie. So use some of these exercises, and until tomorrow, money come, money come, money come. I love money and money loves me. If you haven't opened up your bank accounts, I invite you to open them up, acknowledge your money, give thanks for your money, and we'll chat tomorrow. Bye-bye.